guys, welcome back to Tackle the Foul. I'm Kyle Grew. We're here with our recruiting series. As always, we have Stevie Shard, Steve Walker with us. And today we have two phenomenal guests with us. One is on the women's team at SVSU, one on the men's at Northwood. And I'm going to actually let them do their introductions themselves because they're going to do a lot better job than I can. So we'll start with you, Zoe.
All right. Hi, I'm Zoe Schultz. My hometown is Rochester Hills. I play soccer at Saginaw Valley State University. I'm a fifth-year senior, and my degree is communications, minoring in youth services and coaching.
Awesome. Go ahead, Corbin.
My name is Corbin Cicchini. I am from Macomb, Michigan. I attend Northwood University, and I just graduated this year. I'll be going back for my master's and my fifth year. I played for FC Nova when I was younger for club, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So that's also a reason why I had them introduce themselves, because there's no way I'm saying his last name right. Absolutely not. So thanks, guys, so much. We're just going to get right into it. The first question I want to ask you guys is just to kind of tell us about your recruiting process. When did you start your recruiting process? What did you do to get noticed? And then how did you make your final decision? We'll start with Zoe again.
So my recruiting process started 8th grade, I want to say, just with like making videos and stuff. I started going to prospect camps, which I believe were the best to be seen and stuff. I went to the Western camp where I got recruited for Saginaw Valley. A tip for those, I would say, is emailing coaches beforehand, letting them know that you're going to be there, just for them to have an idea. Even if they don't respond, just so they know your name, they know what to look out for.
For sure.
And then same with me. I actually started getting recruiting in beginning of my junior year of high school. So 11th grade, end of 10th grade, I started to email coaches and stuff. Because for guys, it's a little bit different. You have to wait a little bit longer before you can actually talk to the coaches. So I would say junior year is probably the prime time where you can actually really start emailing your coaches. And honestly, like Zoe just said about emailing before you go to camps and stuff, that's huge. You don't just want to show up, let them see who you are first. And then, yeah, that's about it for me. I went to ID camps and yeah.
Before we ask the next question, was it a difficult thing, or was it pretty easy for you guys to make your final decisions on where you're going to play?
For me, it was easy just because, like, when you know. I felt comfortable. I liked the coaching staff. I liked everything about it, so I just knew.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Corbin?
For me, it was, I went into my ID camp and I had a shorter time to make my decision. So I got to know my coaches a bit in a very short time. And then, yeah, that's sort of why I went in.
Awesome. All right. Let Steve handle the next question.
So kind of leading on from that with your process, is there anything that you would have done maybe a little bit more of, or is there anything that specifically that you did that you would have, now looking back on it, maybe done differently?
For me, maybe just reached out to more different coaches. I feel like I got comfortable with just a few. Didn't like open my variety much, I guess. Maybe went to more ID camps. Those helped a lot.
And you both wanted to both stay in state as far as your recruiting, or is it obviously you looked at something specific within the school, or was there something there that you maybe would have looked at differently?
Go ahead.
Well, for me specifically on that, I wasn't really looking out of state. And I guess in reality, I maybe would have looked a little more out of state. And then something I would have done more as well is when I'm going to like combine camps and stuff like that, I would have probably emailed more coaches to come out to those, to my travel games and such. I feel like that's a really good way to get into contact with coaches besides your ID camps. More so than honestly like college coaches, I feel like don't really want to see high school games as much as if you're going to like a combine camp or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we kind of talked about it in a previous episode. It's not really about not wanting to go. It's just logistics. You can go to one high school game and see maybe 3 players, or go to a showcase tournament and see hundreds of players. It's just, yeah, they're always going to go to those games if they can, you know.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so the next question we have is about your step into the college life. What was that transition like? What were the big changes that happened from high school to college? There's a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, so my big thing was time management and organization. I took a minute for me to get into that, but once you get the hang of things, you have your team helping you along the way. That was a big thing for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say honestly the biggest thing in the transition is, like Zoe said, time management. That's something that I had to work on a lot because you really are. It's like a baby step into the real world remotely, especially if you're going to live on campus, because you still have resources and you still have people there that can take care of you. But it's like training wheels on a bike. Like you got to learn how to do stuff yourself, and time management is one of the biggest things for that, I feel like.
So you guys have both talked about time management being obviously the biggest thing. Is there anything, you know, just with, you know, in life, I would say that changed for you guys that you had to learn changing from high school and college, anything like that? Or maybe it is just specifically on the soccer field?
I mean, hard work, obviously, like you're always a hard worker, but like you have to like do everything even harder because like you have school with soccer, right? Like it's going from like school to soccer. Like you have to work hard in the classroom and off the field. Yeah.
For sure.
How did you guys settle in as far as like doing your own like meals and doing your own laundry, and like were you pretty self-sufficient, or are you? I mean, I've seen Corbin's mom drop his laundry off to him games in the season. So
Yeah, someone's gonna do it for you. No.
how self-sufficient was that? Like, how was that for you guys?
All right, so for that, I would say in terms of meal prepping is huge of being an athlete, and in terms of education, you want to meal prep. And on top of that, going in as a freshman, be careful with the cafeteria. I'm so serious on that. Be careful with the cafeteria. It does not always serve the greatest food, and being an athlete, it will definitely show and take a toll. So I would say to find, you'll usually have like some healthy foods in there, but be careful your freshman year in terms of cafeteria and transitioning into feeding, because you have to actually like feed yourself and stuff like that. So definitely be focusing on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, looks like something you agree with. So yeah, when he said about the cafeteria.
Yeah, it's hard to resist, but it's true.
Yeah,
No, that's good advice. I mean, if obviously a player's gone from, you know, if they're living at home and they get their meals pretty much set, what their parents are feeding them, and then suddenly they have, you know, a wide variety of different things, it's obviously difficult to try and obviously discipline yourself while you're in season, because obviously that's the other thing with soccer as well. You know, you guys are straight into it in the fall, so
absolutely.
good.
So next question I have, two parts. What are the best and worst parts of being a college athlete?
Okay, the best parts is like you create a family, like that team's your family. You look up to your coaches, like everyone's family. You spend so much time with them, and you just learn so many things on and off the field. The worst part just might be not being able to go to like all the football games, all those events. But like other than that, like it's so worth it for
Just
sure.
the little sacrifices. For
Yeah,
sure.
little sacrifices.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I would really add in on that, like just the culture you sort of come into, like a lot of people are part of a team. So it's like you come into a new team, you have a bunch of people that have the same like similarities as you, so you connect with them. And then honestly, the hardest thing I would say would be just, I don't know, I'm sorry.
There's nothing bad about it. That's good.
I
Yeah.
couldn't think of, yeah.
No, I you know, I think everyone here, well, you know, obviously Steve and Stevie had different backgrounds, but, you know, playing college soccer I was very fortunate to do it. I think you guys probably both agree it was a privilege. So there's not a lot of negatives. Of course, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but there's not really something that you could probably label as the worst. So that's fair. Before we go on, you're not the first person to have an extra visitor with you, Zoe, but you have to tell us at least what her name is.
Oh
His
yeah,
name.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but her name's Kitty.
Kitty. Very
Yeah.
creative. Very creative. That's all right. No,
Very creative.
Tyler has Loki. Everyone got introduced to my cat Ace. Like we all have animals, and they like to interrupt, and they don't
Yes.
have any. They don't have any fear, so it's all good. Stevie, I'm gonna lend you to the next question and take it from there.
So with you guys at the beginning saying that you were fifth-year students, you've obviously had a red shirt. So what was the situation on your red shirt, and when did you kind of find out or decide when that happened?
For me, I tore a few things in my knee my senior year of high school after I committed, actually. My coach was really understanding about it, thankfully, kept my scholarship and everything. So I was going into college not thinking about redshirting, but I had a talk with my coach about it. I was for sure not 100% back, still had to recover, get used to the ball still and all of that. So I think I ended up maybe like a few weeks in deciding to redshirt just because it would be better for me and better for the team.
Absolutely.
For me, it actually was not my choice to be redshirted. I went in to my freshman year of college thinking that I was going to play, but I actually was redshirted before I went in there, and that's partially it wasn't my choice, and honestly, I did not know I was going to be redshirted.
Do you think you would have felt differently about it if there was more dialogue or more communication prior to you finding that out?
100%. Yeah, 100%. It would have made a huge difference.
Did that change your decision, Corbin?
What do you mean by that?
So, like, if you knew going in that you was going to be redshirted your freshman year,
Absolutely, it would have
you
made a
gone
huge
somewhere
difference.
else?
Yes, 100%. I would have went somewhere else.
Fair. Absolutely. The next part I want to talk about is a little bit about, both sides of being a college athlete, the balancing act between athletics and education. I know we've talked about time management and those type of things, but talking to us a little bit about that, but also if there's any, helpful tricks or little things that you guys do personally that maybe you can provide to everyone watching.
I would say wake up early. I honestly had a problem of sleeping in, and if you wake up early, and like you said, back to the time management, I don't want to go back to that, but if you wake up early, there's enough time in your day that you can get everything done. And I mean like 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. Just don't sleep all day.
That's fair.
For me, I would say like use all your resources. Like I don't know for you too, probably Corbin, but we have tutors. Like there's always like extra help for athletes and everyone else too, but especially athletes. You can even go to your coaches and they can email and get you extra help, extra time, like all of that. So make sure you use those resources because we're really lucky to have them.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great answers for sure. So you guys have obviously had, a lot of success in your careers already, both captains. So what is one thing that you believe leads to being a successful college soccer player?
I would say just make sure you're loving what you're doing, love the position you're in, handle everything just like positively, like make sure you're around good people, your team, coaches and everything. Like make sure you're in a good area and you're just gonna succeed and love it.
For sure.
I would say honestly, just hard work in general, like just never stop trying to better yourself. And then at the same time, like you and your team have to be on like the same page in terms of work ethic and stuff like that. So it'll all follow as you work on yourself and you provide help and stuff. Like it just in reality, just being together as a team is just so important.
Sure. One little follow-up to that, as obviously you guys are both fifth years, you've been around. When new players come in, especially on the field, what is something that you kind of like look for and you're like, and it makes them stand out a little bit? It doesn't have to necessarily be their technique or anything. It could be personality, whatever it is to you guys.
Yeah, just that they're like open to talk, like you talk to them, like they're responding, just having like positive energy. They're gonna offer like good things to the team.
For sure.
Even freshmen, they're coming in, they're gonna offer good things to the team.
For sure.
I would say in terms of that, I would say like coachability, like to not forget that yes, you may have hit this milestone in your life where you're going to play college soccer, but we're all still learning every single day. So
Absolutely.
giving that respect to your coach, giving that respect to the people that have been there and just working hard every single day and just still remaining open-minded and coachable and like because you're going to go into a different program and play a different style than what you might be used to, so you have to be open-minded to that and you have to be coachable. You might have been the star where you just were, but you might not be right now, so you have to realize that.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so leading on from that, obviously you kind of hit some very good points to Perry. What do you think, just as one thing, do you think that holds a player back, that makes probably a player not as much of a success as they probably thought they were going to be?
Ego. That's big for me. Ego. That's something that you have to drop if you want to get to the next level.
I would say what Corbin already said, coachability. I mean, if you're not coachable, you stop there. You're not going to get any better.
For sure.
Yeah.
Good. Those are excellent insights, because I think, like Corbin, like you said, I think probably when players look at it, and they probably look at college soccer as their pinnacle of what they've been working towards, it's almost like, I've made it now. I'm good. I'm where I'm at. And obviously a player, you guys are not the same players you were, now going into your senior years as you were coming in as freshmen.
Right.
So obviously you've learned a lot and developed, your style and developed obviously how your coaches want you to change. So I think that's massively important that players understand that.
Another thing to add on too, like when you're coming in as a freshman, like don't expect things kind of thing. Like start right away and stuff. And if you don't, make sure you're like handling that correctly, positively, because that's what coaches look for, how you react to things, right?
Sure.
Yeah, just like keep your head up and keep working to get that position, and you will.
Absolutely. Well, that's great stuff. And so it's already great advice, but what I want you guys to do is just think of one piece of advice that you want to give to the high schoolers that are watching this that could potentially be, going to play college soccer next year or in the next couple of years.
I would say make your choice, have options, 100% have options, and know the environment you're going into. My freshman year, I made a mistake. I was very caught up in the college because of soccer and all of this, but it just didn't fit my persona. Like, it was just a very small city, and I was not happy there. The student life wasn't good, and I would say a big thing for me is environment, honestly, because you want to go somewhere where it is homey, especially if you're going from home, because like I said, it is a transition into the real world. If you can handle a switch of a complete environment, then that's a different story. But for me, I would say that was big.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Just make sure you're happy when you're there. If you're not, you can look for other options. You just want to be happy. You want to be comfortable where you are, or you're not going to have fun your 4 years. And that's what you should be looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're not enjoying it,
there's no point.
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes, it's at least a part-time job, but sometimes a full-time job. And
oh, for sure.
If you don't enjoy it, you're probably gonna quit. Honestly,
Right.
That's usually what happens. So, that is all we have, guys. I really appreciate you guys giving us your time and talking to everybody. A lot of great things for sure. So, once again, thanks. My name is Kyle Grew, Stevie Shard, Steve Walker. We have Zoe, Corbin, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much.